Let me make sure I close all my tabs. Excuse me. Got a little indigestion. It's a bit late over here. Got my water. My big cup of water here. Excuse me. Okay, well, I don't know who's gonna come on. It's pretty late. So let me just get started. I guess everyone can catch the playback. I make this video to give glory to God, the Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ. Amen. Now I have a couple things I want to share tonight about Donald Trump. Here we go again. You ain't ready, part two. Hey there. Hey, my friend. You are back. I'm glad you're back. God bless you, and thank you for always joining me, especially as of lately. Let me put this image up here because I know it's important. Let me see if this will fit this one. All right. Now, U.S. versus China. Things are getting heated, you guys. It's getting really bad out here. Now, the other day, well, that was a couple days ago, I discussed the tariffs with you all. And as far as the chart let me see if I still have the chart. Yeah, I should still have it here with the updates. Let's see. Okay, so China's on here. So initially, the tariff total on China was 67%. As you can see, they're number one on that list. I find that ironic. I don't know if Trump did this spitefully, putting them up there at the number one spot, and also having Russia not on there at all. But let me put this photo back up in here. This is crazy. What is going on right now? Okay. So Trump, instead of the 67% tariff, as of today, he's changed that amount to 104%. Now, that is the highest tariff that I've ever seen him implement on any country. I mean, it is absolutely outrageous. It is crazy. And the fact that he's put this on China, since we get a lot of things from China, we import more things than we export, okay? This is gonna be one of the worst years for America, 2025. Now, for years, I've been warning you guys about 2025, and because of the vision that God gave me many years ago. And it's definitely one of the highest videos I put on views wise on the channel. A video titled Detailed Vision of the End Times, because God showed me that particular year many years ago, okay? Now, I didn't say that I believe the things I saw in that video, as far as the tribulation starting, that those things would maybe come to pass in that particular year. But I did always say that I believe that was the beginning of the end. Okay? Now, I did always reiterate after I posted that video years later that I always felt like 2025 would be a very hard year for this country. And now I'm seeing that it has come to pass. 2025 has been one of the worst years for this country, the United States of America. Now, COVID was pretty bad, but 2025 is absolutely horrible. Hey, Sheila. Hey, my friend. Thank you for coming. Hi, Mike. My tip. Okay, I don't know what that means. Sir, keep it clean in these comments, sir. Hey, Lloyd, leaving work soon. We'll catch you up in a minute. Amen, Lloyd. It's always good to have you, brother. And thank you for always keeping me up to date as well, brother. Get your work done. We'll be here when you get back. Amen, y'all. All right, so you guys, what I was saying here, yeah, 2025 has been one of the worst years for America, period. And I've never seen anything like this. I mean, I'm so stressed out from even watching the news. I'm gonna have to stop watching the news because it's stressing me out. I keep saying it, but I keep going. I have to go back because, again, Trump is just chaotic. There's always one thing after the other, after the other. Where are you from? I'm from Jamaica. I reside in America. Now, you guys, with the way things have been going with China, every single time we have raised the tariffs on them, they have raised the tariffs right back the following day. So by tomorrow, expect to hear that China has also raised the tariffs to 104% for us. Okay? So a retaliatory tariff is absolutely coming. And I would say that without a doubt because they have done it multiple times. When Trump raises it, they raise it right back. 50 nations have already lowered their tariffs against U.S. products. That's not going to help. It's not going to help because Trump is actually trying to extort these people, Canada included. Come on now, yeah, they don't. Trump doesn't care. He doesn't really care. It's all an extortion plan. What he wants is he wants these people to call him and beg him and beg for him to lower the tariff and say, I'll donate something to you, put a little couple dollars in your pocket. This is an extortion thing. On top of the whole beast system, there's a lot going on here, more than the eye can see. Trump is bringing us into the last days. He is the Antichrist. And that's the point that the secular people are missing. We are dealing with somebody that is not of this world. This is a demon. So what are you saying in a nutshell? Is this the end? Absolutely, this is the end. This is the last days. We have been speculating for years on years. Donald Trump is the Antichrist. You don't have much time left on this earth because the things that are coming up on this earth is going to overwhelm you so much. You're going to be so shocked. Not just him, with the other stuff coming, you're going to beg for death. People are going to literally regret being born here, okay? This is the beginning of the end. I predict by next year that the state of America will be in full-fledged starvation, okay? They ain't, hold on. I hope y'all are keeping it clean in these comments here. Mike, you got to keep it clean. All right, or you got to go, sir. But you say what you want, sir, but just don't say perverted stuff. All right, I'm gonna break it down. Okay, brother, I'm gonna break it down. People have said what you are saying for generations. Complete civilization have collapsed over and over again. Yeah, that is true. There's nothing new under the sun, okay? Things come in waves, okay? But there has to be a finality to everything. Everything has a season finale. We are in the season finale. Nothing goes on forever. Man will not live forever. Okay, we have a number of years on this earth before it all has to come to an end. And there has to be an explosive way to get out of here, okay? It is scary times, Lloyd. I am on edge. Our problems are not that big. Think about it. You're right. The things that we think about in our everyday lives is not of importance. What we need to do is worry about where we're gonna go because many of us will be going soon. I take that back. Okay. It it take a back then. Okay. You're not on edge. You're just mad your favorite politician lost. I didn't have a favorite politician. I didn't like Kamala and I don't like Trump. But I would say my favorite president was ironically George W. Bush Jr. I thought he was a very funny guy. I know that he was pretty unpopular with some, and actually during his term, we did go into a recession. There was a lot of money spent. We went into a war. Um, I know a lot of people disagree with the war, but because there was a lot of political issues, things with oil, um, retaliation. I guess because his father was trying to get Bin Laden in his term, didn't work out. There was some issues, and then Bush Jr. came in and he was able to get Bin. Look, there's a lot. It was a lot. But I would say he was one of my favorites. He was a Republican. I generally don't really see it for a lot of Republican presidents, especially nowadays. Back in the day, man, the Republican Party had a totally different way of maneuvering through politics. I would say that people considered them to be, of course, the political sector of in the government where, of course, they possessed the most wealth. They were less likely to spend. They also, I would say, had the reputation previously of being more conservative. I don't know what's going on with the Republicans these days, but it's funny how things kind of seem like it switched around because Republicans always had the viewpoint that the people on the left were radical extremists, but the behavior that I've seen lately from a lot of Republicans are so not conservative. I would consider very radical. It's strange how things just get switched around. Even people say they use the term we're in a backwards world. Even they say nowadays men have become more feminine. And I see it all the time. And women have become more masculine. And you see it all the time. We are in a backwards world. People are losing their damn minds. I'm not gonna lie, I'm ready for Jesus to return. My friend, I hope we all are. Stop fear mongering. Democrats, even more so. We are way more different 50 years ago. We have to make change. Now or never. Hi, friend. Hi, my friend. How are you? I'm doing great. How are you doing, my friend? Listen, make your own personal change and seek Jesus because there's nothing else that you can do on this earth to save yourself. No party's gonna help you, okay? None of that. Make sure you have a personal relationship and own your own personal growth with Jesus Christ because we don't have a lot of time left here. Now, let me just get back on track anyway. I was blabbering about George W. Bush. But this is a pretty serious thing here. China is one of our biggest imports. Like, we use China for a lot of things. Now, I want to bring a story that recently happened with a Republican Trump supporter. He actually has a business here in America, and I'm gonna give you the details of his story. Let me just bring up this image for y'all here. I know I have it in here. Okay, take a look at this doll right here. This is a Jesus plush toy, okay? That's pretty cute. I feel like I would buy something like that for my kids. You know, they got a lot of teddy bears. This is pretty cute. I like this. Now, there's a man that has voted for Trump 3 times, okay? He is a devout Republican. He owns a dolls similar to this. It's a Jesus plush toy. Now, he buys these dolls from China. He basically has a setup with a Chinese manufacturer where they make these dolls and he puts basically his company name on it. Now, he's been pretty lucrative selling these dolls in the United States and other places. And he came on the news recently. And again, man, this is a Trump supporter. This is a man that's, you know, generations in his family have been supporting and voting for Republicans his whole life. He believed in Trump. Now, with these tariffs on China, his business is going to go into bankruptcy. It's crazy because this man was saying that, you know, I really believed in Trump. I wanted to believe the things that he was saying that they would benefit someone like me, a business owner. Um, you know, basically he had the mentality pull yourself up by the bootstraps type of thing, right? But now he's changing his own mind about Trump. Unfortunately, a lot of businesses are going to experience things like this. We import a lot of things from China, and sir, I know what you're doing. I gotta stay focused. People troll all the time, but I gotta stay focused. If you want to leave, may the Lord bless you and you have a good night. So this is unfortunate. Now he's saying that he's kind of lost support for Trump because of this. and I don't blame him. This is a business that he has. Hey, Jai Angel, you got it, sister. Thank you. This is a business that he's had for a couple of years now, and it's been growing. But now, with these tariffs, the company is going into a free fall. In addition to the stock market has been in free fall for days on end now because of all of this. It's just wild. I feel bad for the guy. He seemed like a pretty genuine guy. He said he was I believe he said he was a Christian as well. That's why he's selling these dolls. He really believes in the Bible, and that's, he wanted to bring this type of plush toy to America. Because we got all these type of toys here anyway. Why not bring biblical image, biblical Jesus to the kids? It's a good way to teach your kids about Jesus. Now, again, feel bad for the dude, but this is the reality that we're gonna face in this country. He was a small business and he started building. He was doing well. Now he's gonna go into bankruptcy. Now let me bring this image back up here. Let's talk about the iPhones. Now Trump believes in his mind that with these tariffs, now this is a bad this let me explain this. This is pretty bad for the iPhone manufacturer. Now I've talked about iPhone before on this channel. Their main factories in China. So this is their biggest factory. These are the Chinese workers that are in China right now. These people work round the clock, hours that would be illegal in America, okay? They work well over 40 hours. I mean, hundreds of hours within a week span, okay? And the only way they can have these people work those hours is to offshore a business like this. And there's a lot of benefits for them to do this in China. It's cheaper for them. The parts are also cheaper for them because they're getting that third party. Now, these factories, many years ago, I saw a documentary on these same iPhone factories, okay? These factories, they work these people to the bone, okay? Okay, this is a massive building in China, okay? And they're always expanding these factories over there as well. On the top level of this building, because this building has multiple levels, there are live-in apartments there, okay? So basically, these people, they have the option to work there and work a set amount of hours, including overtime, which honestly, they're being forced to do the overtime, right? And they have an option to live in the factory and they pay a fee out of their paycheck, right? So some of these workers actually live in this damn factory. They have cafeterias, they have apartment style buildings on the top level where they live there, they shower there, they eat there. They don't even really leave, okay? Now, they they talked about this building because these buildings have especially the main one, the headquarters in China. There's a lot of controversy there because they had to put up these um, barricades and large nets on the top of the building on the roof because some of the workers started jumping off the building and committing the S word. Okay, yes, like they were so overworked and so depressed, and they just didn't. And I don't want to speak for these people, but what I heard was they just didn't see a way out. They worked every day. It's the ones that lived in the building. I guess they got like sick of the routine. There is a lot of oversight issues in the company itself because listen, you have to be on top of your game. This is no joke. This is iPhone. So it's all Asian run there. Okay, there's a few white Americans that are like CEOs or whatever that run it, but mostly on the levels where the people are, they're Asian. And if you know anything about Asian culture, they have a very strong work ethic. So they're literally micromanaging these people. It's very difficult to work at these factories, and there is also a vetting process to even get a job like this because even in China, this would be considered a very high-paying job in comparison to some of the work that they pay them for there. So people actually try to get into working here, but at the same time, you know what it's like to not have a job, want a job, get a job, and then feel overworked, stressed out by it. So that's what's happening there. A lot of people kill themselves working there. Let me show you another image of this factory. Now, let's say these people do bring back this manufacturing to America, which I never think will happen ever in life, okay? And there's a couple reasons why, and I'll explain in a minute why I don't think iPhone would ever come, bring their main factory here or a bunch of factories. Sorry, I want to drink my water. There's going to be, let's say they were to bring it through here, there would be a DEI issue here, and I'm going to explain why. In these companies in China, they have an incentive to actually hire. I, I don't want to give the wrong percentage, but I think 80 to it's either 80 or 75%, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Of their workforce is women. Now, the Chinese factories specifically said the reason why they prefer to hire women to work in these factories in China, specifically the iPhone ones, is because women have a more of an attention to detail to build these iPhones. So these people are putting in the parts to the iPhone basically before they reach here, the chips, all that, the wiring, the batteries, they put in all of that, okay? And they said with the way a woman's minds work, they are more inclined to take their time to do it right. Okay, and you have to understand these people are working well over the hours that are legal to even work in other countries. Like our country, we have state laws that you can't overwork a person. Like say you can't work 100 hours in a day. They don't have that over there. So a lot of the men, they noticed a trend in the hiring process. A lot of the men that they were hiring, they were skimping on certain things. They weren't doing the internal parts correctly, over being overworked or just wanting to rush. But they noticed with just a trend with the women there that they were more inclined to have better quality products because they were taking their time and they were doing it correctly. And they said that a lot of women have an eye for detail when it comes to things like this. Look, it ain't discrimination, but if you're gonna bring this job back to the United States, there would be another DEI issue because they would start hiring more women than men. And then there would be discrimination lawsuits, all that based on sex. Now, this is not the only industry that they prefer to have women in. There are certain industries that they just agree on scientifically that women just do better at, okay? Just like there's some jobs that men do better at. For example, when you go to get your car, let's say you bought a car, you don't like the paint job and you want to change the color. When it comes to mixing the paint and getting a nice color and differentiating colors and the schemes and all that, the people that basically do the job to spray the car and mix the colors, I forget, I don't know the correct term, but they said women do better at that than men. Now, they said it's something with the way that we see the colors and the way we can differentiate the flexes and the tones and all that. I don't know why that is, but they always say in that industry they prefer to have women do that job too. So it's a similar thing with this whole iPhone thing. Okay, and it's not the first I've heard things like that. Like there's certain jobs, like again, some women are better at. Like I said, some men are better at certain things too. So why do I think they would never, ever, ever bring this main factory back to the United States? The manufacturing. Now, I know that they would probably bring basic sales jobs from Apple here. The stores that they actually have a finished product, they sell them. But these factories, oh, heck no. No, that's not going to happen. They would have to pay you way too much. Now, Apple is a $1 billion company and it's growing every year. They do extremely well in America and outside of America. Okay? Now, what makes Trump think that Apple as a whole, being as successful as they are and getting their parts cheaply and getting a better workforce in Asia, what makes him think that they would want to bring that here? Do you know how much they would have to pay a person to do this job? And again, there's labor laws here that they would never get over. They would never meet the demand for their products over here in America with the work schedule that we would require by state law. It's just not going to happen. They would have to pay out a lot of money to people. Also, they would have to give us insurance, all that stuff they're not giving these people. You think these people have health care? Heck no. This Chinese factory, the main one, these people don't have no damn health care. They don't have that. They would never do it. Trump thinks that he's gonna strong arm these people with these tariffs, but what he doesn't understand, like I keep reiterating, these companies have a choice. They don't have to sell their products here. They don't have to do business in the United States. He thinks that he's gonna impose these tariffs and that's gonna force these people to do what he wants them to do. What he doesn't understand is they're gonna do what they want to do. These companies already don't care about their employees. They could care less about the ones in China or in America. So if they're not making the money that they want to make, especially to pay off their crooked CEOs and all them people, Jobs, Steve Jobs, all them people, I think he's dead now, but listen, these people will just stop selling here altogether. They will bring their companies if they need to in India and all them other places. They will bring them there. He's acting like these people don't have a choice. And that is the scariest thing. He's saying he's doing this stuff. He's gonna bring back all these things to America. But let's talk about it. Our electrical grid cannot handle it. There's certain like metals that we cannot manufacture here. He keeps talking about, oh, we don't need to buy from these countries because we can make all those metals here. It is impossible for us to do it because for many years people have been asking, why doesn't America upgrade their electrical grid so that if we were to bring back certain manufacturing, that we could handle it? Do you know what would happen if we brought all these businesses at once? Again, this is their choice. That's if they come here. It would crash the whole electrical grid because we do not have an updated electrical grid. And there's certain countries, certain regions that certain metals have to go through a process before it's even viable or if we can even use it. And you're cutting off that those imports for us. He's cutting that off. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen from any president. All of these tariffs, like I said, I can guarantee it, expect by tomorrow for Xi Jinping of China, the president, to have a retaliatory tariff, if not the same or more than 104%. They're not playing games with us, okay? China already doesn't like the United States. We've always had tensions with them. They don't particularly even like Trump himself, and they find him to be very stupid. Listen, they are gonna ride this out until the wheels fall off. That's the type of spirit they're coming in. And I keep warning people about these agitations and agitators like Trump himself because this will lead into a war. Like the vision I shared with China and Russia that's coming to this country. Are these the things that lead up to the war? We shall see. I'm sorry if I'm not getting to your comments, but because I'm just so outraged by some of these things. Like people in his administration, it just really seems like he's not thinking. You can't strong arm these people to do what you want to do. You have to understand something. These are greedy people. Apple is a very greedy company. They don't give a damn. Look, they even cheat their American based customers. There's so many issues with iPhone and so many lawsuits about even memory spaces on your phone and how they're trying to like basically scam people to buy more memory. And you think they're gonna bring these factories to the United States where they're paying these people pennies on the dollar? It's not gonna happen. Trump needs to get out of the White House, friend. Absolutely. Wow. I get them, girl. Thank you, my friend. I'm serving the Lord. Some men ain't going never find anyone. Help help me help me the Lord said man and should never be alone. He shall make a helpmate for him. Amen. I am okay lonely. I don't think I ever find a helpmate, not in the American Babylon. My friend, I don't even blame you. You know, you just focus on you and you focus on your relationship with God. Hi, my friend, how are you? Amen. I saw this one. All right. So let me switch this up here. I just don't, I don't know if he's just, I don't even know what to think of Trump. I'm exhausted by him in general. Just exhausted by the stupidity. Like, this, you think this man is playing with Trump? He don't even like us. Do you even know what the Chinese people think about Americans? You ever heard that word, stupid Americans? This is what they really think. Americans are stupid, and Trump ain't making it any better for us. Do you know what their propaganda news is like over there? Literally bashing America, bashing Trump all day long. The outrage of people translating their news and what they really think about us. Listen, China has always been an enemy to America. That it's been like that for decades. That's not gonna change. You playing with people that don't already like you or respect you. It's funny and ironic how Trump was telling Zelensky how people respect me, people respect me as a president. No, they don't. China never respected you. They don't like you. They there's a difference between someone liking you, respecting you, and tolerating you. And for many years, China has tolerated the United States because in a big way they need us. Yes. They need us because we buy from them more than any other country. We buy a massive amounts of things from China, and it greatly impacts their economy. We buy so much from them that when the manufacturing part that it affects their GDP in a massive way. They're literally living off of our American dollar that much. So when he imposed these tariffs, they were freaking shocked. They're like, what the hell? Like, it's crazy how we don't like each other, but we benefit each other greatly. So right currently, China's economy ain't doing so well. I literally just saw on there's a news channel that in touch with China. They've been reporting that they've been having some issues economically. So these tariffs hitting them as of lately, oh, it's suicide. Okay, they're like, what the hell? Your dream is coming true. Amen, Lloyd. No, now when I had these visions, I didn't know what led up to it. I'm starting to see. I'm seeing the patterns here. God is revealing it in time. What's happening? Sad. It is sad. This is not good. And I've talked about this man here. This one here, Vladimir Putin. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Do not underestimate this man right here. Do not underestimate Vladimir Putin. He's very tactful. He's watching this, okay? He's taking notes. He's seeing how can I use this to my advantage. I want you to think about what I'm about to say. You are looking into the face of the man that will one day take over this country. You are looking into the face of the man that will plunder the strongest nation in the world. This is not a joke. This war that is coming to this country, he's spearheading this war. When China and Russia come here, I want you to know that it was his idea. And China went along with this. Now, I'm not telling you to fear. You should only fear God. But this is going to come to pass. This man is not somebody to play with. He has a way with words. That's something God is telling me. This man has a way with words. But you shouldn't trust what he says. But you know how they say, don't believe what somebody say, believe what they do? Let me show you this image right here that sums up all this. Let me see, I just had this image. Dang, it was too big. You know what? I know YouTube is working on some of these features, but it was a photo, this AI photo of him walking Donald Trump like a dog. And that is how I really look at it. This man owns Trump. He owns Trump. Russia is weak. You are 100% wrong, guaranteed. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You you say Russia is weak? Let me tell you who's not weak. God is not weak. If God says that this man here is gonna be the one that will plunder the largest nation in the world, it's gonna be him. Now I'm gonna prove you wrong right here. There's many stories in the Bible of a army that people underestimated have the least amount of men. It could be an army of 10 men going up an army against 3,000 men. But once God said, I gave them into your hands in the Bible, and it was always the same. If God gave that nation into the hands of their enemies, it always came to pass every single time. Think of it like the Spartan War 300. It don't take much. If God wanted to use 1,000 ants to win a war, he could, and that's how powerful God is. Freaking ants. If he wanted to use an army of 1,000 ants against 1,000 people, just because he said it, it would happen. Now, go read your Bible. Look at all the wars that happen in the Bible. It always seems to be the same thing, doesn't it? People that people underestimated that were outnumbered by thousands upon thousands. And if God said, you have sinned in my eyes, you have turned your back on the Lord, I will give your enemies into your I'll give the enemies into the hands of you and you will be plundered. And it always happened. And then these same people was too cocky. These same nations that were riddled with gold and prostitutes and fine wine and luxury and nice bread and nice linen and big kingdoms, and they all fell. Just because God himself said I was done with them. Do you think America is above God and his word and his thoughts and his judgment? Heck no. You need to understand something about God. He could tear every fiber, every DNA in your body with just the thought of his mind, the snap of his finger. And if he's telling people, and not just me, I am not the only person that had this vision. I had this vision years ago that America would be plundered by Russia and China. I'm not the only person. Apparently, there was a prophet that was told this in the 1980s or something. And I found his video years later, and I was so shocked because it was so similar to the things I saw. He doesn't do anything until he tells his people first. I feel sorry for the people in America because I know for a fact that millions of you will die in this war. Now, I hope that you have your hearts ready with God. I don't know if I'm going to even survive this war. This is how scary it is. I've been asking God and praying to him, do you want me to move out this country? Where do you want me to go? And what he's telling me is, look, when this war happens, there's me worldwide war everywhere. No matter where people go, it's going to trickle down everywhere else into world war. There will be no stone left unturned. There will be nowhere for man to go to seek safety. All we can do is pray at that point, because just like we're gonna be in this three-way war, these other nations gonna it's gonna kick off the most horrific wars you've ever seen, nuclear wars in other regions that was unexpected. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. I could literally bring up stories right now from the Bible where God used a handful of men against thousands and hundreds of other people's army, opposing armies, enemies. And just because God said that my hand is on this army, these people, and the people lost. It didn't matter if they had a 1,000,000 man army. Now that's scary. That is scary. I get a lesson from the Bible seeing things like that, because that made me understand. Look, there's nothing outside of the will of God. Nothing. We're literally on borrowed time in this country. All that stuff, Zelensky with Trump when he was in the White House, and Trump was speaking disrespectfully to Zelensky, and he was saying that stuff before Trump cut him off, that we don't know war in this country, but one day we will. Foreshadowing, prophecy. Let me get off of this because I'm getting a little beside myself, as if I'm wishing for. People act like I'm wishing for war in this country. I do not want to see this war. Man, if I could escape, I'm looking for a word from God to tell me when to do something so I could save myself. Because even my own vision's scaring me. I'm like, oh God, like, what should I do? Where should I go? I have kids. I have children that I look after, that I have to take care of. I'm terrified that something would happen to them in this country. But unfortunately, with this coming war, there's going to be young people that will pass. Old people, young people, rich, poor, free, bond. No one's going to escape this, man. And the ones that left this country, listen, it will only be, excuse me, protection for a short while. Because even I'm hearing other people saying God's giving them prophecies, all these other places that people are leaving in mass exodus, like uh, France and all these places. I'm hearing from other prophets that they saw a war coming there. So it don't even really matter where you go. And also, a few years ago, I had a vision about, um, I don't know if this was China or Russia. No, I'm sorry. I don't know if it was China or Japan. But listen, there's something bad coming to one of these countries. I believe it was Japan, though. There was a massive flood in this Asian country, and I don't know what year this is going to happen, but I keep using the word mudslide, okay? It was so bad that I was seeing mud all over the streets, people running. Like the water was coming not to the top of the buildings, but let's say the building was like a 5-story building or something. It was in the middle, and it was this water sliding through it with mud everywhere. I don't know the terminology, what it was, but I would say mudslide or something, right? This is something that will come in the last days. There was millions of people that died there. And I remember in this vision, I was seeing it on the news. They were saying like devastating um, flood in Japan or something. Millions died, and it was so bad. I don't think they were able to get to people to help them much. It destroyed a lot of their buildings. Okay, there was a lot of casualties, um, and it impacted them economically in a horrific way. Like, look, listen, they wouldn't be coming back from that. That was so bad. It was so bad. And again, I believe it's Japan. Japan something. is coming there that they will never recover from. That's the thing. We in the last days, like I said, there's a finality to everything. And I know it's scary. This stuff is scary, but it has to come to pass. Trump is the best thing to happen to America in 45 years. At least God sent and protects Trump and his supporters. Good luck to you, my friend. God bless America. Long live Israel, land of Jesus Christ Almighty. Good evening, everyone. Hey, Jack. I'm sorry I didn't see your message. I was going there. Russia is the big beer, exactly, and China is the dragon. Hi, Susan. This red, this read be still, right now and hold fast to God's vision. Amen, my friend. Amen. We should all be still. Amen. All right. So let me see here. Okay, I want to talk about one more thing though before I get into too much. Um, Make America great again here. Listen, in the last video I told you guys about a vision I had a couple years ago as well about the new voting process. Now, some people might say, "Oh, please, that's not really a prophecy. I saw that coming." That's fine. I get it. In a couple years, don't know how long this is. Don't think it's going to be too long, but the voting process is going to be very different. It's going to be all electronic. People will be voting with their phones only. There will be no voting booths, no none of that. Okay. I had a vision a couple years ago about people pointing a device at their TVs. Now, at first, when I had this vision, I didn't think it was a phone. It looked like a remote control because it had a wire attached to it. But looking back at it, I think it was a cell phone. Eventually, it will be like a government-based app that you download in the App Store, and you go on the app and vote for your favorite candidate. Okay. Now, there's a couple issues with this voting process. It's going to be heavily rigged because with technology, people can hack into things. So that's going to be a big concern as well in the future once voting becomes fully digital. There'll be no paper ballots, none of that. This is something in the B system that's going to be pushed for a short time. Eventually, there will be no voting process at all. Okay. But first, they're going to say, "Oh, we're doing this to be more efficient and blah, blah, blah." But eventually, the B system is going to get rid of voting altogether, and there'll just be a king over this country. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring this vision back up is, and I talked to you guys about a portion of the vision where I mentioned Congress. Okay, this is very important. In the vision, I saw a president, the president was basically talking about the people in Congress and how much we pay them and how much it costs us and the American people and blah blah blah, and why we should basically change the formula of Congress. Now, the reason why this this political leader, will have a very large focus on Congress later on is because this this leader is going to try to get rid of Congress. Now, and you're probably thinking that's impossible. Listen, it is very possible. When it comes to Donald Trump and his antichrist beast system agenda, he has a huge roadblock in his way, okay? And that roadblock is Congress. Eventually, I don't know how he's going to make this happen. If it's going to happen exactly in the way in my vision, or it's going to lead into some corruption. But eventually, I believe he's going to try to get rid of Congress. Now, you're probably thinking that's outrageous. We live in a democracy. Congress is a part of a democracy. Without a Congress, it wouldn't be a democracy. That's the point. That is the point. These people are in Donald Trump's way of doing whatever he wants in this country. And that is why he's going to try to campaign against Congress to get rid of them. And I'm talking Republicans and Democrats. He's going to come for all of them. Like, and again, I don't know exactly how this is going to happen, but keep your eye out for isolation, okay? Just this world leader, this person that is going to be so corrupted and so power hungry, going to get rid of all the checks and balances in America to have a full dictatorship. And in order for him to do that, Congress has to go. Like I said, this sounds crazy, sounds outrageous. Keep your eyes open. This is not a man. This is a beast. Just like the Bible refers to him as the beast of Revelation. Just keep your eyes open. Now, I talked about China. Let me see. Like I said, people ask for a king. You asked for a king, and God gave it to you. Look at him. Wants world domination. Today, in addition to the 104% tariff on China, they're saying that Donald Trump just put in $1 trillion budget additional. I should make sure I put that in. Additional $1 trillion into the U.S. military. Right at the moment where we have people losing their jobs, their Social Security, their VA benefits, funding for HIV prevention, cancer research for kids, Meals on Wheels programs, programs that fund food banks. They've just approved an additional $1 trillion to expand the U.S. military. Now, this is concerning because out of all of the countries in the world, and I don't listen, I just said countries in the world, the United States spends the most money on their military than anybody else in the entire world. And that is not a joke. Look it up. It's a quick Google search to verify what I'm saying. The second military that spends the most money would be China. The third military that spends the third amount of money would be Russia. You see where I'm getting at here? We spend more than them combined. And we just put an additional $1 trillion to spend? This is outrageous. We're in a full-fledged recession with the stock market in free fall and funneling money to Israel. And then they just put in an additional $1 trillion. Also, Trump just spent, what was it? How much was it? $54 million on golfing trips alone. This man hasn't even been in office for 6 months, and he's already spent $54 million. But we are the moochers and the fraudsters. This is our money. This is our American tax dollars. He's been writing off all of his golf trips. Again, it hasn't even been 6 months. This is insane. They said that they put in Doge for waste, fraud, and abuse. Seems like the president is most wasteful. What is wrong with people? I am at a loss for words. I'm gonna look. The 54 million is just for the golf trips because when Trump goes on, if he goes wherever he goes with his staff, right? If they travel in domestically or other countries, because the Trump hotel is not just in America, okay? He insists that his staff, the Republicans and all the people, even the congressmen, that they stay in his hotels So when they go to stay somewhere, they go to the Trump Hotel. Who do you think is paying for that? And then his base keeps saying it doesn't matter because he doesn't take a payout. Trump doesn't take a payout. It doesn't matter if he does or does not. He's still spending all of the money. Why would he need to take a payout when he's spending $54 million on golf? Why does he keep insisting that these people have to stay at Trump hotels and keep writing off these trips? And the private jets alone, you don't even want to know how much he spent on those. Listen, this is the worst president that this country's ever seen. He's so irresponsible, it's unbelievable. Look at it. He's a dictator. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for all the emojis, my friends. I have a couple more things to share. Like, things are so bad right now. Even Elon Musk, his brother, is saying something. The dude's outraged. This is Musk's brother right here. His name is Kimball Musk, co-founder of Kitchen Community. He speaks during an annual Mikan Institution Global Conference in Beverly Hills. Okay, hold on. Elon Musk's younger brother Kimball took to social network X on Monday to Lamb State. I've never seen that word. President, I guess they could have said another word instead of that. President Donald Trump's tariffs, calling it a good lord. What? Sorry, there's something over here on my screen. Calling them a structural permanent tax on American consumers. He also said that Trump appears to the most appears to have put in the most, sorry, I'm paraphrasing right here because it's cut off, the most high tax American president in this generation. You think? And trust me, Musk knows that his brother is saying this. Nothing goes through this family, especially when it comes to politics and money, without his people calling his people. Okay, publicists calling publicists, all that. Elon's okay. I read that part. Even if he's successful in bringing jobs on shore, sorry, though the tariff through the tax, prices will remain high, and the tax on consumption will remain the form for higher prices because we are simply not as good at making things. Kimball's Musk wrote on X. Okay, exactly. There's just some things that we're just not good at making here. Okay, these freaking car companies. Honda has Honda, Toyota. They have big factories here in America. Ford, all that. These people, look, these people about to file bankruptcy at the end of this year. Okay, especially Ford. They've been having a lot of issues with recalls, quality control issues, and in addition to these tariffs, look, these people not gonna make it, okay? This is not a joke. This is serious. Like, there's a lot of Americans that just don't understand finances because, and listen, I have a very limited understanding, but if you watch the news, if you do just a little bit of research, I'm not talking about deep research, light research. What is a tariff? Who pays a tariff? Things like that. You would understand that we are screwed, okay? People don't understand how some of these businesses that are in this country, how they benefit us indirectly and directly, okay? These companies are keeping our economy afloat, whether you work for these people or not. This is scary. Now, I don't know what they're going to do because some of these freaking car manufacturers that are here, they heavily rely on imports, especially like Toyota, Honda, all these places, a lot of their parts are made outside of this country. And that is, some of this is for good reason, affordability, quality. There's many reasons. Sometimes they just can't afford to make certain things here. And in order for them to have us afford it, it may be have to be made somewhere else. Now there's a lot of people that are nationalists and they believe America can do everything. Look, we can't. We can't do certain things. And if we could, we just couldn't do it as well as other places. Now, I think it's important to stick to what you're good at. Okay? Now, people always give that advice. Just know you're stay in your lane and stick to what you're good at. We don't have the power. We don't have the electrical grid for certain things in this country. And we need to understand that. It's just ridiculous. Now I heard one of Trump supporter, oh, I forget his name. I believe it was one of his advisors. He said something so stupid the other day. It was like, well, Trump's putting up these tariffs because we import more than we export to China, and China doesn't want to take our beef because they're jealous of our beef. And what did he say? Something about the potatoes as well, the fries. Listen, I don't really even know if China said any of this. And I have to take anything with a grain of salt that these people say around Trump, especially the ones that are always trying to like cover up for his foolishness. American people themselves question our food. I would say that. Okay? There are certain countries that are European countries that won't even accept certain products from America. So it is not wild or outside of the scope of things to hear that China is saying, listen, we ain't taking that. Can't verify if that's fully beef. Can't verify if it's fully potato. This is mystery meat, okay? Or mystery slop. We don't know what that is. Everyone likes your AI image. Oh, thank you, my friend. I just get them from Google, to be honest. Hey, my friend. Thank you for always coming as well. Okay. Okay, so he was saying China is jealous of us. Look, they ain't jealous. From what I'm hearing from him is, I guess they couldn't verify if the fries was fully potato. Something was, I guess something in the compound was off. Like I said, don't try to act like the Asians are the only people that said that. Don't do that because again, there's certain things that we can't sell in Britain. We can't sell in the UK because they're like, oh, we don't. See, the American standard for certain thing, low on the totem pole. The quality, the bar is in hell. Okay, we are even getting fat from our own food. I hear all these people talking about, I went to Europe, I went to France, I went here, and I ate the same food that I ate in America and ate it over there, and I lost the weight, or I feel better, and I don't know how I didn't have skin rashes and acne and flare-ups from my PCOS, and they're just confused as to why they're feeling so much better. You can't tell me that this isn't a bigger problem that what he tried to make it seem as if these Asians just don't want to take our food because you're jealous. Why don't you just try to bring the food up to standard so that other people would be more inclined to buy from us? Why isn't that an option? Why just keep giving us slop and trying to sell slop to other people? Now, if the position that you have is, well, if China feels the same way, a lot of their practices are questionable. True, very true. Then let me beg this point. If we know that China's food is also questionable, because even some of their street food, when you look at these documentaries, some of the stuff they do out there is outrageous. I mean, there was a controversy of some of these carts outside, the ones that sell like street food. They were taking sewer oil from the sewage and using it to cook their food. It was so disgusting. I never seen nothing like this in my life. Literally violating human rights laws and health code laws and all that. It was disgusting. And like they also sell the mystery meat. But if China will sell out to their own people, imagine what else they'll do. They cut corners like no other. Okay? So that point, that's a huge point as well. But being as low as their standards are, and they send all this garbage here. Even there was issues in the past where some of the things we would buy from them, like kids' toys, a couple years back, people were saying it was containing lead, and a lot of the factories had to recall things. There was major lawsuits of some kids getting cancer. It was crazy. Because the kids, the toddler kid toys, they'd be putting that stuff in their mouth, playing with stuff, and they were getting sick. My point is, knowing all these things, why do we keep buying from them in mass droves and not requiring them to have a certain standard either? Because you know why? Because we like cheap crap. We like cheap goods. Don't try to act like America don't love a cheap deal. All these damn products they selling on Amazon, those are imports from China. A lot of these Instagram baddies or whatever, the people, the fake bodies, that with the fake lips and fake boobs and butt, and they influencers, and the ones that have platforms, and then later on they'll say, oh my goodness, I have a makeup line now, go buy my lipstick and go buy my eyelashes and whatever. These people buy from China. They get in contact directly with these Chinese manufacturers, slap a logo on it, and they sell it to us over here. Now these people about to lose their business as well. All these little influencers, all of them about to pay, what is it, 104%. You think these people gonna keep buying from China? They're gonna give up. No, heck no. Bankrupt. That's what's gonna happen. These influencers ain't gonna be selling that cheap stuff no more. They can't afford it. Just wait till the end of this year. You'll start seeing these damn car manufacturers all on the news crying and begging. What's happening? Trump is terrible. There's gonna be mass layoffs for these manufacturers. I just don't even know what to say anymore. Like, all of this is just stupid and sick and not well thought out and just ridiculous. Let's see if Musk leaves, okay? Elon Musk is about to leave in May. He's about to leave Doge. At this point, he better leave because his companies are failing like no other. He needs to get up out of there. Him and Trump, people been saying that him and Trump ain't be getting along. They're planning their romance breakup right now. You know, it needs to come to an end. Like, I'm sick of Elon. The American people are sick of him. They don't like him. He's just, dumb. All of the above. He's ignorant. He keeps coming on the news crying, talking. What didn't he say a couple weeks ago that the issue with Americans is that we care too much about empathy. Now he's begging for empathy for his company and Tesla because they're failing. Get back to work, sir. Go back to Tesla. Go back to the hole that you crawled out from. I don't care. Like I said in a couple videos ago, I would say go back to Africa, but they don't want you there either. They're sick of you. You keep talking against these people, making up propaganda, talking about, oh, they're stealing the land of the whites. Dude, even the white people over there said that this was a lie, and said that this was like a smaller case um, than he tried to make it seem, and all of that was settled with the government and the owners. Like, you're seriously just misinformed. You play off of people's emotions, and with your ex account, trying to bash these people for Trump. And let me tell you something, you really made the wrong move doing that. You made a bad turn supporting Donald Trump, because what you don't understand about Trump is he don't give a damn about none of you. or you loyalists. He just uses you for the time being for whatever you're good for. If at any turn he needs to turn on you and drag your name through the mud, he will do it at the drop of a hat. He has no loyalty to anyone. He acting like Trump, you and Trump are lovers. He's acting like him and Trump are just the best of friends. He doesn't give a damn. Because they've been saying behind the scenes, him and his people, Trump and his people, and JD Vance and Marco Rubio has been saying we need to get rid of Musk. He's bad for the image. He's causing too much problems. Americans just don't like him. Go away, man. I don't want to ever hear from him again. And again, the American people keep saying they don't care if you leave. They still don't want Teslas. They don't want it. Now, Musk is lucky. He's lucky that Joe Biden put in 200% tariff on any other um, electrical vehicles coming into the United States. Because if they ever get rid of that, his company would not only fail, it would plummet to the ground, okay? Because them Chinese people, those electric cars that they've made, they're more affordable, they're way more efficient. Look, the list goes on. I'm seeing people going to China driving these vehicles, these electric vehicles, and they are amazing. There's one that even supercharges in like 5 seconds. How the hell do you beat that? An electric car that fully charged 100% in not just minutes but seconds. That's amazing. How the hell does Musk keep up with that? Do you see these Americans at these charging booths sitting there all miserable? They're driving around town hours on end trying to find a charging station. Absolutely ridiculous. These freaking Teslas having glitches in their system, crashing into semi trucks, can't even park, circling a parking lot. I saw a video the other day on YouTube of a cop almost giving a Tesla a ticket, but when he went up to the window, he saw that there was no one in there and didn't know what to do. Hey, Lloyd, hey, my friend. I'm sorry to say I feel bad because it's like there was some casualties from this happening, but like sometimes people will like I don't know what the hell these people think they're doing. They're acting like they're calling a Pokemon, like Pikachu, I call you or something. You right, you get back in your Pokeball. They're calling the cars back to them. Hey, come pick me up. I'm finished with work, and the car doesn't even make it because it just drove into a semi truck. Stupid Tesla. Oh gosh. And looking at the app, where's my damn car? People really thought they were gonna just like live big and like get a Tesla and it was gonna be the best investment of their life because some of these people actually put their Teslas on Uber. Look, I didn't even know this was a thing, but you could put your Tesla on Uber and it could pick people up, the driverless ones, and drop people off so it could make money for you. But some of these people getting this to the Uber Tesla and Tesla, buy a Tesla. Trump, he can't speak. Getting in the Uber Tesla and it's circling the parking lot trying to figure out how to get out. Like, cancel ride, cancel. Dude, what a joke. That's why all these people taking off all these decals off of the cars and putting a damn Toyota or a Hyundai symbol on there because they don't want to be aligned with Musk. I find that absolutely hilarious. These people in the Cybertruck, man, that one is a joke. I don't know why those people try to take those decals off the Cybertruck. It doesn't look like any other car. It's like putting lipstick on a pig. Anyone that believes that's any other vehicle and you just put a Toyota symbol on a Tesla Cybertruck is a joke. That's the only one you can't fool anyone with. Hold on, I got one more in here. I got one more in the arsenal. Look at this one. I found it. Madman Trump. Tesla, buy a Tesla, you guys. Me and little Elon. Me and little Elon, he's a crazy hand. Found out Joe Biden was responsible for childhood obesity and George Soros. Because George Soros is behind everything. Everything that goes wrong with Trump's life or in America, George Soros did it. Jeez. Jeez. George Soros is a weird dude. He's evil. But even he's at home like, man, why do these people keep bringing my name up? You know what? It probably is a running joke in his house because America's going to hell and failing and burning to the ground. Must be my fault. George Soros. It is a joke. Everything goes wrong in George Soros. Jeez. Did you see JD Vance called Chinese people peasants on Fox? Oh gosh. Not the makeup wearing alien. Jeez. Not the smoky eyed bandit. Am I wrong though, my friend? Come on. I'm sick of hearing that every problem going wrong with Trump and Musk and Vance and sloppy Steve Bannon, George Soros did it. Good gosh. That's really very racist that he said that about those people. No, probably not racist. Very rude. Peasants. This ain't looking too good for international relationships. You call these Asians peasants? I guess that's how he really feels about anybody that's not him because he's so luxurious and so glamorous with his smoky eye. Get this man some mascara. Very rude indeed. Trump's old. He's 80. That's funny because he said Sleepy Joe was old, but they're not that far in age. Good Lord, help us all. Oh my goodness. Trump shouldn't be president. He's too old. He should. Good Lord. I don't even want to say what I'm about to say. Because they might try to come after me talking about him. Domestic terrorist this and domestic terrorist that. That's all they talk about nowadays. Anybody that talks against Trump is an enemy to the state. Kamala Harris, what you think about her? Not a fan. Not a fan of Trump or her, okay? She's 60. She's younger. I thought she was younger than that. I thought she was in her 50s. I thought she was like 50, 57 or something. I don't know. But look, I don't know what's gonna happen in the next couple years, cause the other day I had a vision about and I'm not gonna lie, I don't really like having visions like this. It doesn't give me a full scope of things. I had a vision. I was talking to a woman. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is the exact words I'm saying. I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe we made it. We made it in the 4 years of Trump. And I was anticipating in this vision. I was like, damn, let me see what else happened. Like I was hoping to see at least something on TV, something in the news, but it just ended like that. And I was like, no, 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 no. I want to know. I want to know what happened in the 4 years. Like what happened to America? God didn't show me nothing. And I was like, oh goodness. I'm really interested to know. Ugh. But anyway, where's Obama? Obama. Obama did it. George Soros. They're all a part. They're all a part of the swamp. So I guess he said something the other day about like Trump, like oh if he did the same things he would do, he did that. People would be so outraged, which is true. I don't even know what to say. I'm just so sickened by this all. There was some other story I wanted to bring up, but I can't remember. Let me check my notes over here. Pete Hegseth. What an idiot. He's the United States Secretary of Defense. How the heck does this man have his job after what he did with the Signal Gate and now being caught on a Google email corresponding about personal, not personal, I should say internet. That's not the right term. I'm losing it. I need water. Um, Classified information. How is this man not fired? How the heck? I would have to really check his credentials of what he did previously. Because what kind of U.S. Secretary of Defense does something like this? I bet I can guarantee he's another DEI hire, unqualified for his job. It's unbelievable. Let me see. I know I have one more article in here. I know I do. Okay, yes, here it is, you guys. Here it is. So, next month on the 15th, June 15th. No, is it this month? No, next month. No, not the 15th, the 14th. Donald Trump is going to try to have a parade here on his birthday. Because apparently, what's falling on that day? There's something here, if anyone knows, remind me. Something is falling on this day. He's going to try to have a military parade here to celebrate his birthday too, with whatever else is going on. Let me see if I can pull up the article. It's just a joke. Now, expect to see a very silly parade because, Trump really idolizes dictators. You know those weird parades that they do in North Korea and Russia? He loves that crap. He loves those stupid, like, show of power type of parades. So on his birthday's on the 14th, and I guess whatever's happening here just apparently falls on the same day. So expect it to be a big event for him because he's so self-centered, just a self-centered weird guy, just grubby. He's gonna look at him. He's gonna waste more money on the 14th. Good Lord! After just spending an additional $1 trillion, dude, have you ever? Can you imagine? Have any of us ever seen $1 trillion? Gosh, my wallet is burning just hearing that. $1 trillion, and this man's about to waste some more money on a parade. Everybody celebrate my birthday. I just turned 100. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. Alright, well, I shared most of everything I wanted to share, you guys. And don't forget, Joe Biden is responsible for childhood obesity and George Soros. Just anything. Just bring up Joe Biden. Hey, I'm so sick of him bringing up Joe Biden. Joe Biden's not the president anymore. You have to understand. We inherited. Excuse me. The worst economy in American history from Joe Biden, from Sleepy Joe and the Democrats. Oh, I bet Joe Biden's at home, because, he's in bed right now because he's not doing it mentally. And he's like, here we go again. This man keeps talking about me, keeps bringing my name up for everything that goes wrong in the administration. Joe Biden, George Soros, and the Democrats. Just stop the foolishness. Stop the foolishness. Man, you haven't even been there 6 months and you ruined the country. Anything that he touches turns to poop, to crap. Him and Elon, like look at Elon Musk. Elon Musk isn't trying to get he's trying to get a reset on his image, trying to go into recovery mode. It's not gonna happen. He's done. People hate him. Anyone that Trump aligns himself with, people hate. Now, with these tariffs that just came with the ones overnight, reciprocal tariffs. You know what's funny? I swear he thinks that the American people are stupid as heck when he put reciprocal tariffs on there. He's using that word specifically to try to soften the blow. But what he really means is retaliatory tariffs. But I guess that word wasn't going over well with people because when people hear that word, obviously we know what that means, retaliation, right? So that's why he tried to use reciprocal. It's all a campaign strategy, okay? How could you say that those are reciprocal tariffs when some of those people don't even have the tariffs that you put on the chart? Is there anyone overseeing over? Is there any oversight happening here? Especially the one with the animals, the herd in McDonald Island. Is there anything happening here? Like I just, what would you be comparing that to? Because I guess they had found out that since the numbers were incorrect, it wasn't even his aides or the people in the Trump administration that explained it. It was some random person, some economist was like, "Oh, I see what he's doing here. He's like calculating the deficit from the trades." But if that's the case, which is true, when they came up with the numbers and that's how those numbers came to be, what happened with the McDonald Herd Island if there's no tariffs there? How do you come up with that number? Just pulled it out his butt? Because there is no trade deficit there. How did that happen? It's zero. Oh, gosh. Dumbest president ever. Now, I've heard today that there have been some rumors going down with the Republicans in his cabinet. They're saying that, listen, re-election is going to come up for us in the midterms. We can't stay here. This ship is sinking. If he does not cut these tariffs short, if he doesn't eventually get rid of them, we're going to have to quit. Now, isn't it funny how history repeats itself? Do you know how many people resigned during Trump's first administration? It was outrageous. These people just kept stepping down. Nikki Haley stepped down. I think he put her up as the was it the UN? Oh my gosh, it was the UN. Good Lord, if you guys can remember her position, I forget. But she's a very intelligent woman. She's always had some type of position in government. And she stepped down. Man, it was so bad that even the people that stepped down, it was a lot, okay? It was a lot of people. They weren't even able to refill their roles because people kept stepping down. Who can we get to get this? Put in this man's place or this woman's place. They couldn't find anyone, so a lot of his positions just stayed empty until he left. You're funny. I'm laughing. I'm glad to hear I made someone laugh through all this pain and suffering this man is putting us through. But yeah, these people are saying they're having secret meetings and talking amongst each other like, man, we got to jump shift. This is bad. They're like, if he doesn't get rid of these tariffs or has some type of actual end date for this, we're going to have to quit. We're going to have to resign. I know for a fact that Marco Rubio wants to leave. He just looks so miserable in every meeting. Listen, these people are not dumb. Did you see the way J.D. Vance was talking about Trump before Trump hired him? He hated Trump. There's countless interviews, people literally clipping together videos of J.D. Vance talking trash, straight trash on Trump. And also Marco Rubio. Look, I used to respect Marco Rubio. Now that video with him and Alex Jones, how Alex Jones tried to approach him in the hallway with his people, that was hilarious. As crazy as Alex Jones is, he is absolutely hilarious. Oh my goodness. Oh, he's like, Rubio, Rubio, are you scared to talk to me? Oh my goodness. Oh my. And he's, Marco Rubio is trying to act like he doesn't see him. He's like rolling his eyes. He's like this guy. And he's trying to turn around, trying to take other interviews. Rubio, Rubio. Oh my goodness, it's a classic. Nikki Haley is the 29th U.S. Ambassador of the United States nation from the January 2017 to December 18th. Thank you. Yes, she was the she was the, oh gosh, how did they say it? U.S. Ambassador. I think was it the United Nations Ambassador or U.S. Ambassador? I don't want to say it exactly like that because I know that some people, even some celebrities have like a ambassador status in other countries. Like I know that Angelina Jolie has one in Africa, but this is not the same. This is like this is a different position. It's a higher position, but she is you was it United Nations ambassador. That's what her position was. Yes. That's what, oh, I'm skipping over your words. You have it right there. I'm an idiot. But yes, Nikki Haley, she's well known. She's very intelligent. When Trump hired her, I was shocked that she took that position because I guess at one point he tried to discredit her because she was having a meeting, and I guess he tried to backstep what she said or like take it back and said, "Oh, she meant this," and he said it in the most stupidest way that made her look stupid. So she was like, "Listen, I'm stepping down. I am stepping down. I stand by what I said." She came back and rebutted. I stand by what I said. Like she was sick of Trump. Like all these problems in his administration, the people just don't seem focused. They're all over the place. They're the woman that speaks for him is press secretary. Oh, she's just a bimbo. God forgive me. Like she is just like I said, the only credentials that you need to be hired by Trump, because even his lawyer, that blonde lady, she's stupid as heck. Like even she's done cases for Trump and gone up to the judge and he's like, I should disbar you. Like the judge was so shocked by her lack of like understanding of basic law. He's like, how do you have a law license? I should revoke your. This is no joke. The judge said he should revoke her license. That's how dumb she was. She had nothing of in any substance or importance to say when it came to his cases, and he still has her on as a judge for. I mean, a lawyer for him, and she keeps losing these cases. Like, not and I've seen her like trying to read from a sheet of paper. She's getting lost and stuff. Like, what is going on? And his press secretary, the other lady, she's like, I guess she's like one of the youngest press secretaries that have been ever been chosen by a president. She doesn't seem to be very smart either. And don't let me get started on what's her name, Marjorie Taylor Greene. What a horse face weirdo. Man, that's an ignorant woman right there. Like all you really need to be to get hired by Trump, I've said this before, I say it again, a busty blonde. You just need a rack and blonde hair. You don't have to be very smart because that's his type. Trump has always said for years, I love blondes. If my daughter wasn't my daughter, I would marry her. My daughter's hot. That's what he said. You just have to be a big-breasted blonde woman. That's all you need, because he's a pervert. This guy is a weirdo. I'm pretty sure he heard nothing she said when he interviewed her for the job. Probably just stared at her rack. Look at him. He's plotting against all of us. I bet he's in the White House right now with his demons and Satan in the pits of hell when the gays, the homosexuals, and what's his Old Town Road dude name? Because he's in on all this stuff. If he's gonna throw George Soros into the mix and say that he's responsible for every bad thing that happens to him. I think Trump's in the White House with the devil himself in the pits of hell, twerking at the bottomless pit with the guy that made the Old Town Road song. What was his name again? I forgot. I'm cracking up laughing, probably laughing all night until morning, friend. Right after he has his McDonald's sandwich that he eats every single night, telling the American people, you remember the first term, what he said he wanted to do with the food stamp program? That was so stupid. And then when people asked him like questions like, how is this gonna work? His program, this is what he implemented. The American people keep wasting all this money on food stamp. You got people that are fraudulent, they're not working. So what I think we should do is we should have a box that's delivered to each home that has a food stamp program, and we'll have fresh food in the box. And then the people asked them like, what about people with food allergies? Because he wanted to have a set amount of things, like let's say a bag of, he said a bag of apples, some celery, some protein. What if a person's allergic to one of those items and he's like, he didn't have nothing to say, he was just confused. What if they have a child that can't eat certain items? What if they have a nut allergy and you put peanuts in there? Then what? He had no other like rebuttal, no other option. Like, he's telling people, even in the current administration, that we are too wasteful on government programs. And again, American people pay into food stamps. We fund that program, okay? Fully. Our tax dollars go to Medicaid, Medicare, the food stamp, all of that. Section 8, all that. And we're wasting our own money while you just approve the $1 trillion for the military, while we're the nation, the biggest country in the world to spend the most money on the military of all time, and we're wasting money. Yet he said, oh, they're wasting money on food stamps. All they do is buy junk. He said that the Americans are wasting too much money buying junk on food stamps, but yet this man eats McDonald's every single night. Do you think it was a coincidence that he went to McDonald's when he was campaigning? He went there because that was his favorite restaurant. Ba da pa pa pa. That's his favorite restaurant. His own aides, his own people in his cabinet told um, the media, because they didn't want to put their names on it because they didn't want to get fired. They're like, we're concerned about his health because he keeps eating burgers and fries from McDonald's. That's his favorite thing to eat. He eats 2 cheeseburgers and fries and a soda every night. That's his meal. He has the world star chefs, 5-star chefs, multiple chefs in the White House that he has his disposal that can make him anything, cook him any cuisine that he wants, and have it delivered right to his room. And this man orders McDonald's every day. McDonald's is one of the worst fast food chains in America. And is the bar in hell? Is it in hell? You can't tell me a man that eats McDonald's every day is talking about Americans buying food, being wasteful and buying junk, and you're eating mystery meat from McDonald's and questionable fries. Dude, the hypocrisy. What a joke. You can't tell me about nothing about health. It's no disrespect. I'm going to bring something up I saw the other day. Now, when these people caught Trump at his golfing trip the other day, look, this is one of the first times I seen this man without a suit. And the first thing I said? I don't wonder why he wears a suit. He looked like someone's lesbian auntie. Like he was so obese that his legs caved in on each other. Like he was in a permanent ballet pose. And he's telling people about health and wealth. meanwhile consuming cheeseburgers at night and fries. I was like, is that him? That was Trump in that white shirt and the khaki pants at his golf tournament, looking like someone's lesbian overweight auntie. Is this a joke? When's his health plan starting? He talking about Sleepy Joe falling off the bike, having amnesia, and he said Sleepy Joe didn't even know where he was. Where's Trump's personal trainer and nutritionist? When's his Slim Fast program starting? Get this man on Ozempic. He'd be a good candidate. Probably got diabetes right now. It's ridiculous. His gut was spilling over. He looked pregnant. I was like, seriously, I did a double take. I said, is that Trump? He looked like the penguin from the Batman. You know the old movies, the first Batman movies when they had the penguin with the umbrella and he would come out in those tight clothes and with that umbrella, he looked just like the penguin. You can't tell me nothing about health and wealth, man. First of all, stop eating the burgers at night. Have a midnight snack. You want to have some crackers, some water. That might be a better option. Better yet, we should deliver some food boxes for you with fresh fruit, a protein. We need to send Trump the same program he was trying to give the American people, a food box. uh, Donald Trump son's huge. He's like this 6 inches, 6 feet 9 inches. You can tell he was feeding him a lot of food, and his other son is 6 feet 5 inches. I'm not gonna lie, his sons, no disrespect, his sons are some weird looking things. I don't want to say the wrong word and be rude, but his sons, they look like a mutated. You ever seen the Oblongs? This is an old cartoon. This is a very old cartoon. It was like about this town that had like a nuclear issue. I think there was something contamination from a power plant, and some of the kids had like 3 ears. One had 3 eyes, and his kids kind of look like a mutated version of like him and somebody else, maybe the other parent. But like, whenever I look at them, you know what I'm thinking? Like, you know when somebody draws someone and you're like, who is this supposed to be? It looks like someone. It looks familiar, but I ain't sure. I don't know. I don't know. Because his sons kind of look like a variation in each other, but like a weirder version. Kind of like if you go into you go into like a alternate universe, and there's a weirder looking version of yourself. You're like, who is this person? Good lord, it's his sons don't seem to be very bright either. They don't seem very smart. Ooh. In addition to his wife, let's be honest, Melania is like his third wife. He cheated on his wife before her with her. Go look it up. It's not a conspiracy. Go look up how many wives Trump had. And she didn't deny it. They cheated. I heard that in Russia they were laughing at her because her Playboy issues came out and they were putting it on the news. She has like a spread in Playboy. Before he met her, she was a model, and she did Playboy. I don't know how many issues she did, but back in the day, I guess that was a thing. But how embarrassing! Whenever she speaks, I don't know what she's trying to say. Like, you know when someone just uses words, filler words, and they're trying to like go get to a sentence. I'm like, get to the point. Like, I don't understand. Like, she doesn't seem very bright. Donald Trump's, okay, I've seen this one, yeah. But yeah, I need to get off of here. I had enough of Trump. Every time he gets on the news, it's just a bunch of garbage. I'm like, man, he's another one. Just never gets to the point. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, but like, please, I don't need all this. Get to the point. His speeches go on for way too long. It's always the same talking points. The Democrats, Joe Biden, and George Soros, and blah, blah, blah. God, man, like, does he ever reread his speeches? I don't think he writes any speeches. Like, I've seen presidents that came before him that came with a piece of paper and read out the speech because they know, like, okay, I'm going to this press run right here. This one will last about 2 to 3 hours. I need to have my speech to be this long. If I'm starting at this time, let's say I'm starting at 1, I need to be out by 3. Like, dude, it's gone on 5 hours of the rants. All he does is rant. Gosh, just ranting and raving about absolutely nothing. And then the stupid this comment that he made about like the um daylight savings, that was so dumb. Like they literally won't stop playing it on Instagram, and people are reacting to it. Every time I see it, I have to laugh because it's like, and then your grandma, she's on her deathbed and she's dying, and then you set the clocks back, so that means that she died an hour earlier. She died earlier. What? What did you say? Doesn't make any sense. So you're saying because daylight savings and you have to switch the clock back, if your grandma was dying and she was in the hospital, that means she died before because the clocks have to go back. Only in his head does this make sense. Never did I think the Antichrist would be so silly and stupid. But here we are. I guess we're all surprised. Surprise! You know, we just don't know what's coming. I just keep my eyes open for what's next. But it ain't gonna be too funny later or we're all starving it. I guess we can use our time right now to have some laughter and joy, because when the apocalypse is full fledged and we're all starving to death in these concentration camps that Trump's gonna put us in, they say Jesus has a sense of humor. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna bring this up too. They said that years ago, right? I saw this meme where this guy was on the bus, and I guess a guy had came on the bus, and he said, this guy came on the bus, and I guess no, it was a guy sitting on the bus, and another man came on the bus, and he said Christian music is really just diss records for the devil. Oh my goodness. Gospel music are diss records for the devil. That's hilarious. I mean, are they wrong? Cause I remember even being in Jamaica, Queens, and we had a song that we would sing in the church that said, "We're stomping on the devil's head. We're stomping on his head. Joy, 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 stomp on his head." And I'm like, wait a minute, they kind of right about that. That's hilarious. Hey, they say God has a sense of humor. The idiot is why I was crying. And why I was crying to God today too. Oh my goodness. My friend, look, we're all going through a hard time. I love Jamaican reggae Christian music. Oh my goodness, yes, a lot of that's very soothing, I can't lie. My great grandmother loved the Christian reggae too. But anyway, I need to wrap this up. I'm getting too stressed out by this man. He's rage baiting us, gaslighting us, all of the above. Tired of hearing from him. Can't even stand to hear the sound of his voice. But I'm pretty sure by tomorrow I'll have some extra laughs when China imposes their own 150% tax on America. He thinks that Xi Jinping gives a damn. That man looks like he's a psychopath, narcissist, all backed up into one person. Xi Jinping looks like he has no emotion at any time of the day. Do you see all the pictures of him? Let me put up a picture of Xi Jinping right now. Every time the look on his face, the look on this man's face, if I could put it into words, I don't give a damn. Look at this man's face. Does he look like he care about anything? Exactly, they're communists. Xi Jinping, after COVID hit, he made his own people starve to death before he ever gave them any aid from the government. He never provided them with anything. If he would let his own people starve, do you think he cares about us? It's a joke, right? Oh, communist China doesn't care. LOL. They really don't. Those people could literally cry in front of his home and beg for food, and he would say, "Ah, get away from my door." Seize them. He would put them in jail, into a administration camp to reprogram them, just like North Korea. This is not the type of person that you want to play with. They don't care about you. They don't even care about their own people. Look at this man. I don't think I've ever seen this man have a real expression. He's a robot. He's a bot. He may as well be a reptilian. We don't even know if he's a human being. These people question if he's humane. Just wait. I'm pretty sure at least 7 a.m. tomorrow you'll hear 150% tax. I don't know why these people keep playing. Just put it to 500 already. I'm looking for it. Let's stop playing these games. Put a 500% tariff on there. So let's stop creeping these numbers up and playing these little baby games and go all out. Let's do it. We're all going to crash. Let's all crash together. I want to see you raise it. Put it to the max. Is there a such thing as a 500% tariff? That would stop all trade. Anyway, let me get out of here. May the Lord bless you. May he shine his light upon you. May the God of the Bible give you peace, not only today, but forever and ever. And those who believe say amen. Amen, you guys. Y'all have a blessed night. And thank you so much for joining me. Good night, y'all. Good night. Bye.